The story begins with the main character thinking, looking at a bunch of dead people. Can he become a really strong hunter like him? A few hours ago in the guild building, people say that the guilds have cleared out a lot of mid-level dungeons, so even some hunters can't find anything, so it will be dangerous to go there alone. The guy looks at what is written on the board. Elite combat requires an assassin. Experience is desirable. Elite combat is looking for a gold level mage. Good payment. Battle Royale requires a low capacity storage station. Battle Royale, the number of available positions is limited. The guy points at the other guy and says he should take a look. This healer has come again. No one in the guilds wants to take him in. The other guy says they should leave because he doesn't want to look like him. Another guy comes up to him and says he found it. He knew that he would be here. The girl next to him also said hello. The guy with the purple hair says they haven't seen each other for a long time. He has heard that they have improved and he congratulates them on that. The girl says that they came to invite him to clean up the dungeon. The guy says that he found a dungeon. It won't be too heavy so they could go together. The guy with the purple hair says that he has mana healer skills and will pull them to the bottom. The guy hugs him and tells him that he should shut up and just agree because he still has his license. The guy with the purple hair agrees with him. After a while, somewhere nearby, a large magic sphere appeared in the middle of the city. This is the normal level of the dungeon. The limit is 10 people. The other is unknown. Monsters lie on the floor and emit magical energy. People defeat their opponents and someone says that the last one is left. The guy with the blindfold says he has to act now. The purple-haired guy agrees and uses a magical ability. He used the skill and the monster radiates magical energy. The guy with the blindfold says it doesn't work. The girl says they need to hit first. An object that emits energy appears next to it. She summons a magic circle and streams of energy capture the monster. The guy says that this is great and now he is using his new skill. He swings his sword, activates a charge and uses the single sword strike skill. With a single blow of his sword, he cuts off the monster's head. The guy with the purple hair asks if he's gotten stronger. The monster's head flies up high and it emits a bright light. The guy looks at it and asks if he can ever be as strong as he is. The monster's head falls to the ground and begins to scatter. The guy puts the sword on his shoulder and says that the sword fell from this monster. The girl comes up to him and says that he is very lucky. He even got a high quality stone. The guy says it's weird. Then he'll take this and this weapon first. He examines the sword and says it's a weapon. It's better if he takes it. He throws the sword at the guy with the purple stripes and says that he doesn't need it, no matter what abilities, and it will help him. The purple-haired guy caught the sword that was thrown to him. The other guy says that he also needs to increase his strength. They can leave now. It's been a rough day. The purple-haired guy thanks him. The guy with the blindfold says he should go with them again. Suddenly the ceiling in the dungeon starts to crack. The girl turns around and says they should wait. Did they hear anything? The guy with the blindfold says he'll tell them why he's so lucky. Suddenly a monster made of stone appears in the dungeon. The guy pulls out a sword from behind his back and says it looks like they've met a hidden boss. The monster stands in the middle of the room and emits a very scary aura and looks with its 5 eyes at these people. The purple-haired guy asks have they ever heard of hidden bosses in normal level dungeons? The guy with the blindfold says they haven't heard of it. He's never heard of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist and it looks like they've come across one. Besides, how can they refuse such money? The purple-haired guy says that people say that hidden bosses are very strong. The girl says that he doesn't have to worry, because there are a lot of them here. The guy with the blindfold says that for the sake of safety, they should first observe the boss. The man with the cigarette says he doesn't seem very brave. What's so intimidating about a normal level hidden dungeon boss? The girl says that he should stop talking like that. The man says they should just watch him kill this monster. He heads towards the boss and uses the Descendant of God skill. The monster holds its weapon in its hands and goes in his direction. The guy with the blindfold says he should wait. Hidden bosses aren't as easy as they might seem. The man says he shouldn't underestimate him. He runs very fast towards the hidden boss who is slowly walking towards him. He jumps up and is about to attack the monster. The boss raises his head and looks at him with an evil smile. The monster emits a very strong aura and does not move, which greatly surprises the man. The boss begins to spin the scythe in his hands and deals very fast attacks that cut the man apart. The man immediately loses consciousness and falls to the ground. Because of this, everyone else is very surprised and looks at it. The boss's scythe spills the blood of a dead man and the monster emits a very strong aura. The guy with the blindfold says that she should hurry up and use her skills to reveal the characteristics of the hidden boss. The girl with short hair agrees. She immediately uses the foresight skill. Magical energy radiates from it and is directed towards the monster. She is surprised and asks how is this even possible? A system window appears in front of her with the monster's stats. Health points 32,456 points, energy 9,999 points, attack power 2,675, defense 1895, speed 64 points, strength 265 points, agility 268 points, intelligence 1980. A girl with short hair falls to the ground in surprise and says it can't be. It's impossible, they're all going to die. A very strong horror appears on her face. The guy in the blindfold comes closer and tells her to stop panicking and tell her what she saw. The girl with short hair says that she saw that even though the hidden boss health is low, but the other stats are 10 times higher than any other normal boss. The guy with purple hair is surprised and asks what did she say? The girl says they will all die here. What should they do now? The guy with the blindfold pats her head and tells her that she doesn't need to panic. Besides, it's just one boss. If they work together, they would have a chance to defeat this monster. Everyone should listen to him carefully, even though the hidden boss is strong, but he is not invisible. As long as they can avoid the hidden boss's attacks, they have a chance to survive and then they can run away together. They must do their best, there's only one chance, so they have to survive it all. He points his sword at the monster and tells them that their next move is to attack the hidden boss. Everyone has to run forward, they have to attack this hidden boss and they have to be careful with its attacks. All the people rush to attack and are going to hit the monster. The hidden boss makes a big hit that pushes away all the people who are going to attack it. The girl with long hair uses magic and says that they should attack now. Multiple magic attacks hit this monster. The guy with the shield says that if they continue like this, they will have a chance to defeat this monster. Everyone should go ahead. The girl with short hair continues to watch the boss and says that the boss's health has dropped to half. The guy with the blindfold says that they can't relax and they need to hold on. They must keep attacking, avoid the monster's attacks and protect the healers. The monster swings its scythe and is about to attack him, but the guy dodges this attack and strikes with his sword. Magic attacks continue to hit the hidden boss. The girl with long hair tells everyone that they must keep attacking. They can't stop. The mages continue to shoot fire at the monster because of their attacks. There is an explosion of great power. The guy with the dagger says that with such a strong attack, no matter how high the hidden boss stats are, this monster will definitely fall. Due to a strong explosion, a large cloud of dust appears next to the boss, but the monster endured and looks at them with an evil look. The guy is surprised and asks what was that, did it not affect this monster? And it looks like they angered the boss. The monster strikes hard with its scythe and defeats one of the warriors. The blood from this attack is scattered around the room, and the boss continues to look at the others. People run to attack, and one of them says that they should continue to attack and hold on. Because the hidden boss does not have much health, the boss begins to hover above the ground. He raises his hand, which radiates magical energy. He points his arm forward and releases a very strong beam that hits the person. The guy with the blindfold is surprised and asks, is this a rage ability or a hidden boss rampage? The monster looks at them with an evil smile. A guy with purple hair asks, what is rampage? Shouldn't a hidden boss just die? The girl says that rampage is a special mode for bosses, which is activated when their health reaches a certain limit. The stats of bosses in a state of rampage are greatly increased due to the fact that only a small number of bosses have a similar mode. She really didn't expect to see this from this boss. The guy with the purple hair asks what they should do now. Are they all going to die here? The guy with the blindfold says they still have a chance. They have enough time for him to gain strength, then he can use his sword and kill this monster. A guy with purple hair looks at him and asks if this will work. The guy with the blindfold says they'll never know until they try. The girl says that they don't have to worry, she will give them full support. She is about to cast some kind of spell and a bright glow appears next to her. The guy with the blindfold tells the boss that he will die here and now. He rushes to attack and is about to strike. The boss swings his scythe and is about to strike faster. The guy with the blindfold asks this freak, does he still dare to resist? He notices the boss' actions and was able to strike. The boss rises into the air, emitting a magical light, and the guy says that this is his chance. He'll regret fighting back. The boss raises his hand and is about to release magic energy. A large magic sphere appears in his other hand. The guy tells this loser that this has gone too far. He dodges and says now a magic attack flies past him and he says that the mages should attack right now. A girl with long hair summons a large amount of fire energy in the air and uses the red lotus flame spell. The boss notices this magic attack too late and a large explosion occurs behind him. The guy with the blindfold says it's not enough, they can't stop. They have to keep attacking. He runs forward and his sword is enveloped in magical energy. It bounces and flies into the center of the Big Bang. He stabs the boss with his sword and says that he should be dead by now. He strikes with his sword, and because of this attack, the boss explodes and shatters into many stones. The guy with the purple hair asks, did he kill him? The girl says that after such an attack, it is unlikely that the boss is still alive. They're all looking at the fire left over from the magic attack. Someone puts their hand up and says they finally got it. The guy with the blindfold looks behind him and says that they finally made it. The girl with short hair is shocked and says that this is not so. He did not die. The fire clears and the boss is seen standing on his feet and smiling at them. The girl with short hair says that he is still alive. They should move back. He is still not dead. The boss starts running very fast towards the people and screams loudly out of rage. He runs very fast towards the girl with short hair. And she says with shock that there is not even a single scratch on him. The boss almost instantly appears in front of her and cuts off her head with one blow of his hand. The girl's head falls to the ground and people stare in surprise at this very sudden attack. The guy with the blindfold says that they should not stand still and they need to run away. In a matter of moments, the boss appeared behind the long-haired girl. A guy with a blindfold and purple hair notices this and simultaneously shouts the word no, but the monster mercilessly kills the girl with a single blow of its hand. Immediately he runs towards the humans to kill the others. Guys ask what they should do now. Can they do anything to this monster? The boss appears in front of 3 guys and defeats several people at once with great speed, after which he screams loudly with rage. The guy with the blindfold is very angry and asks how this could have happened. He screams loudly in anger and runs to attack. The boss notices this and turns around with a smile. The guy with the blindfold is shouting loudly at this monster about to attack it. The boss releases magic energy from his hand, directing it at the guy, and he releases a very powerful burst of energy. The explosion completely engulfs this guy. The purple-haired guy is completely shocked by what he sees. The blindfold guy's body has completely disappeared and his big sword is stabbing into the ground. A guy with purple hair falls to the ground and says they are all dead. How did this happen? Did this monster leave it for last because it's weak? Even he looks down on him. He remembers that people say he's too weak. He's dead weight. They can't take care of him, or should be dead by now because they're just wasting resources on him. What's the use of it anyway? He must die quickly. He's a useless loser, a waste of time, a trash and a loser. He covers his head with his hands and says it's not about him. He looks up and notices his friend's sword. The girl says that he is not like that. He will be able to defeat this boss. The guy with the blindfold says that he should get up and take his sword. He will succeed. The guy holds a sword in his hand and asks if he can do it. In truth, if you're going to die, it's better this way. He sees the monster's shadow looming over him. He raises his head and says that he will fight for his life. The boss looks at him with disdain and beckons him over with his hand. The guy starts to get up and says that even though he's going to die, at least he's going to die for a reason. He definitely won't die like a weak idiot. He rushes to attack and is going to attack this monster. The monster throws a very fast punch and hits the guy, but he glares at the monster and tells the freak that he will die with it. He plunges his sword into the monster's body and pierces the monster's body, causing the boss to scream very loudly. The monster uses its last strength to hit the guy's head with its hand, and he loses consciousness and says that he has avenged them. Now they can rest in peace. The hole in the monster's body starts to emit a bright light and it is torn apart. A guy appears in a white space and asks, where is he? Is that what it's like to be dead? I wonder if he'll be able to see everyone here. He examines his body and says that he is still clothed and looks like he is not dead. He raises his head and asks, what is it? A system window appears in front of it which says dungeon notification. He completed the last high priest achievement. Achievement conditions. First dungeon clearing done. Second defeat secret boss done. Third all other comrades killed done. Fourth healer class. After a while the hidden boss eats the meat that he holds in his hands. He sits over the body of the man he killed and eats the body. The purple-haired guy looks on in shock. The one who gets eaten by the boss is his friend. The boss turns around and looks at him, then gets up and slowly walks towards him. The guy is very afraid, looking at him. The boss stands in front of him and looks at him with a bright light in his eyes. The boss licks his lips while looking at him and with a smile he swings his hand and reaches for his head. Suddenly the guy wakes up in bed and says that he had this dream again. This guy's name is Song Ran and he's a healer, but his abilities are extremely inefficient. Therefore, most teams reject him, making him the target of everyone's ridicule. Until a few weeks ago, his only friends took him to a dungeon with a hidden boss, where they sacrificed themselves to protect him. As a result, he was the only survivor of that dungeon, although the guild didn't investigate the case. But people spread rumors about the cursed healer widely. They seem to tell him that he is not worthy of companions, but as an insignificant healer, he deserves this solitude. Song Ran opens the refrigerator and asks, "Is this all that's left? The last bottle of water?" It looks like he'll have to leave the house. He takes a bottle of water and drinks the contents. He says that besides, the place hasn't been cleaned in a month and all he has left to wear is this. He puts on his hood and says that he must not be recognized. He leaves his house and walks through the busy streets of the city. He looks up from his tired eyes and says, "Here we go." He walks into a grocery store and is told welcome. One of the visitors asks if they have heard the latest news when someone walks past them and asks what news they're talking about. The guy says he was referring to those mass murders in the dungeon that happened a few weeks ago. It is said that only one healer survived. The second guy says he's already heard about it. He also found out that it was a healer who killed his entire team in order to take over the dungeon's rewards on his own. The guy asks, is this true? Is his information reliable? The second guy says that of course it is. An older brother from the guild told him about it. The guy says that in this case this healer is just a jerk. If he met him, he could easily kill him. The second guy laughs and asks, is he going to beat him up with that body? The guy asks, does he really think he can't beat the healer? He shouldn't look down on him. Ran brings the groceries to the checkout counter and says he will take. The saleswoman greets him and tells him that the purchase price is 198 yuan. Will it pay in cash or by card? Ran hands her the card and tells her that he will pay with the card. She says he should wait a minute. She swipes the map and what she sees surprises her. She apologizes and says that there are not enough funds on his card. He can only buy bread. Ran says that in this case he will only take bread. The girl holds out the bread and the card and says that here is his purchase. It may come again. He walks out of the store, looks at the bright sun, and says it's the first time he's been outside in weeks. It seems that in the future he can't count on joining the team to earn money. He doesn't have a team or friends, so what should he do? So the only dungeon that he can go to alone is Ono, the beginner dungeon. Beginner's Dungeon. A man-made dungeon located in the center of the city that novice hunters used to learn and practice their own abilities. But since this is only for novice hunters, the difficulty level is almost zero. Of course, the payment after stripping is also very small. Ran clenches his fist and says that however, now he is not in position to choose. In the end it will save him from starvation. The guy who sees this asks the girl named Min, "Isn't it Song Ran, that useless healer? What is he doing here?" The girl laughs and says that she doesn't know what brought him to the novice dungeon. Is he able to fight? Ran enters the portal and the system window says welcome to the beginner's dungeon. He asks, has there ever been such a notification before? What is that? The system notifies that system testing is starting. He must accept congratulations on meeting the conditions. The dungeon will soon open an evolutionary mode for him. He'll have a good time in the dungeon. Ran asks what is the evolutionary mode and what is this thick blood mist. It's disgusting. His evolution blade responds to this. It seems that all this is happening because of the sword. I wonder what will happen next. A system window appears in front of him in which it is written that the task of the beginner level, a small test. The goal of the quest is to destroy 100 earth elementals. Ran is surprised by this assignment and says that he thought there would be about 3 of them. Where did so many of them come from here? It looks like the blood mist is clearing. He is surprised by what he sees on the floor and asks what is it. Stone hands appear from the ground and elementals begin to rise. Ran looks around and says it's bad. The monster appears next to him and swings to strike with its own hands. Ran asks since when did earth elementals get so big? Their attack power also increased. He dodged the attack and says that even so, these monsters are still very slow. Apparently this task will not be easy. It's very large. But since it's a beginner's dungeon, the elementals shouldn't cause much trouble. He should try his hand at it first. The sword in his hands disappears and he says that he will not use this weapon again. He will defeat it with his bare hands. He was going to check how strong he was. He punches and fends off the monster's attack and magic sparks appear from its attack. The monster immediately swings again and is about to strike again. The monster and Ran both swing and throw punches at the same time, releasing a large amount of magical energy. He says that this monster is more powerful than he thought and looks like he can't handle it with his bare hands. He summons the sword and says it's time for the evolutionary blade. The monster, meanwhile, has already raised its arm back and is dealing a very strong blow. Ran tells this piece of dirt that it won't work against him. He strikes very fast with his sword and destroyed the elemental in one blow. He says it's weird. It's like he's gotten stronger. Or was it just his imagination? Monster's body is shattered into pieces and wounded. It got rid of one. Who will be next? He notices that 2 more earth elementals have appeared and says that it looks like he won't be given time to rest. He uses the basic strength enhancement skill and says that they shouldn't underestimate the healer. It also uses a basic speed improvement and a basic stability improvement. A huge crowd of earth elementals is coming at Ran and he runs towards them. He lands a quick blow with his sword and cuts off the arm of one of the monsters. He is surrounded by a crowd of monsters, which he kills one by one. Ran kills monsters that attack him in a crowd and a lot of system windows appear, notifying about his level increase. Ran is standing in front of a monster that swings its arm and is about to attack it. His eyes are bright and he says that this monster is the last one left. It bounces and the monster misses it. He cuts off the monster's head with a single blow of his sword. The system notifies that its level has been increased. Beginner level task, small test completed. He received an award. Ran plunges his sword into the ground, panting as sweat runs down his face. The system notifies that the reward for the task Earth Essence, note, can be combined with weapons. Ran caught his breath and says that he finally got rid of these monsters. He didn't expect it to be so tiring. Beginner level task, small test number 2, the goal of the task is to destroy 100 water elemental. Ran is surprised and asks what does this mean. The system notifies that the evolution blade has a base attack power of 10 points, no attributes, healer class requirements, special effects, attributes and abilities can be improved based on available materials. Ran asks what is this Earth Essence? Is this the only reward for the task? He's never heard of it, so why do you need it? The system notifies that Earth Essence is a crystallized earth energy that emits a thick and strong aura. Use combined with a weapon, the effect is unknown. Ran holds this item in his hands and says that it is a valuable item, but he does not know why it is needed. Right now he doesn't have time to study and he doesn't know how difficult the next task will be. If this continued, he would definitely die here. He looks you notices a very bright light and asks what is it. He covers his face with his hand and asks what's going on here. He is surprised by what he saw and says that this is a strong snowstorm. Why was it snowing so suddenly? He remembers the water elementals and asks is it because of the mission. Ran sees a lot of objects falling from the sky and asks what is it. It falls to the ground and he realizes that it is not ordinary snow. These creatures that fell from the sky turned out to be water elementals. They get faces and hands and monsters take on a new look. Ran looks at this and says that as he expected, the water elementals won't be ordinary. It looks like they've also become stronger. He approaches the monster very quickly and jumps up and strikes the water elemental's arm with his sword. Ran lands on his feet and after noticing that his attack didn't deal any damage to the enemy, he says that this attack didn't work and it pisses him off. The monster swings its arm and approaches him. Ran examines the monster and asks, is the monster still unharmed? What should he do? Why aren't his attacks affecting him? He rushes to attack and says that he should try again. This monster has a regenerating ability. Now he understands everything. The ice elemental, like the earth elemental, has a high level of protection, and it also has the effect of restoring the water elemental, which constantly regenerates. It will be difficult and he may die here because of these ice elementals. Was he going to die here? The system suggests that the conditions for strengthening weapons with earth essence have been reached. Does it want to perform a merge? Ran asks merging with a weapon at a time like this. In any case, he should try it. He agrees to perform the merge. The system tells you that a merge is taking place and it should wait. His sword is enveloped in energy and he asks is that all? The system notifies that the merge was successful. His weapon has gained a unique ability petrification of the maximum level petrification skill. The weapon can cast a petrification effect on the enemy, reducing the enemy's movement speed by 50% and blocking regeneration. Also, the enemy's defense will be reduced by 30%. Rand laughs and says it looks like the heavens are favoring him. Now was his chance. He charges, strikes with his sword, and the elemental freezes. He's surprised that it worked. He strikes several times with his sword and destroys the monster into several pieces. Rand says that now he can dance with these freaks. He rushes to attack the huge crowd of monsters that stands in front of him. He reaches his new opponent and stabs with his sword. His eyes sparkle with a bright light as he attacks the monster. He jumps up to the level of the monster's head, and with many punches he destroys the monster's body. After a while, Rand stands surrounded by a huge number of elementals' corpses and says that he is finished. In the system window in front of him, it says that the goal of the task is to destroy 100 water elementals. The task progress is 99 out of 100. Rand notices this and asks where is the other monster. He doesn't see anyone else. He turns around and asks what is it. He sees magical energy rising from the bodies of the elementals, and he asks what is going on here. Are the dead ice elementals fusing together? A female monster in ice armor appears in front of him. Ran is surprised and asks, is it really the Snow Queen? The Snow Queen uses the ice element. He asks, is this just another hidden boss? He's definitely lucky with it. It looks like the Snow Queen is an improved version of the ice golem. Dealing with another strong opponent would be difficult for him. He doesn't know if he can handle it this time. His strength might be enough, but his health condition isn't very good. After all, the previous battles had battered him quite a bit. Looks like he'll have to use it. It uses the basic healing skill healing. A green aura appears around the wounds and he says that now he will find out if this battle will be the last for him. He's already survived a lot of attacks. She can try to kill him if she has the strength to do so. If she and the ice golems are different types of ice elementals, then petrification will be very effective. He runs towards the boss at high speed. Ran strikes and says that she must turn to stone. It strikes, but does not deal damage with this attack. He asks what it was. Didn't he do any damage? It looked like he had underestimated her defense. It's not an easy situation. Petrification doesn't help and his attacks aren't strong enough. Maybe he should use normal punches. The Snow Queen raises her hand in the air. In her hand was an ice sword that was surrounded by a strong energy. Ran notices this with surprise. He asks, does she use ultimatum attacks from the very beginning? Is this a joke or something? A huge amount of energy from her sword rises up. Because of this, a large number of ice fragments fall from the sky. Ran notices this and says it's terrible. He jumps out of the way and dodges one of the shards, but a lot of other shards fall after him. He runs away from the ice crystals very quickly and says that her ultimate attack is too strong. He has to dodge it if he doesn't want to be torn to pieces. However, this is not enough and he needs to find the right moment. He looks at the boss and says this is his chance. Ran runs very fast towards the Snow Queen and her attacks don't hit him. He jumps up and when he strikes, he says that he has hit. She strikes and he says that as he thought, his strikes not only interrupt the boss's current attacks but also affect subsequent ones. If she only uses normal attacks, then she won't use ultimate skills. All he had to do was hit and dodge and then he would be able to defeat this boss. He strikes and says it will be easy. The Snow Queen blocked his attack using her shield. He jumps back and asks, I wonder if his attack combo is stronger than the boss' ultimate attack. He starts hitting continuously, counting the combination of his attacks after a long period of time with 9,999 strikes, he managed to break the Snow Queen's shield. He lands another hit, and the system congratulates him for completing a 10,000 hit combo and unlocking the deadly attack ability. The deadly attack ability consumes 0 mana points. Ability description. Normal attacks will ignore the opponent's defense and deal 10% more damage, but each attack will take away 1% of the user's health points. Ran asks, did he unlock a new ability in this situation? God himself seems to be wondering if he will win this battle. If that's the case, then he can't lose. It's time to put your life on the line. Right now he would test how many attacks she could withstand. The silver-faced Snow Queen looks at him and swings her sword to strike. Ran stands calmly in front of her and activates the deadly attack ability. He strikes hard using his sword and this attack dealt damage to the boss and it broke her arm. The Snow Queen realized what had happened and screamed loudly in pain. She became angry and began to be overwhelmed by a very strong magical energy. Ran asks how she feels about this. She misses her hand already, doesn't she? Suddenly the Snow Queen's hand lifted and joined together, causing her to smile and look at him. He looks at her and says that she has an incredible regeneration rate. Although he might injure her, he might not expect an easy victory. The Snow Queen hovers in the air and looks at him. She strikes with her sword, but he manages to parry this blow, which caused a very strong wind to rise due to the strength of her blow. Ran says that in that case he should kill her with one blow. The boss hits him very hard, but he blocks this blow and pushes him away for a long distance. Ran looks at her and says, she won't have a chance to fight back. The Snow Queen very quickly approached him and attacks with her sword falling on top of him. He jumps out of the way and she misses him. Ran looks at her and tells her that he's not making it, that he needs to find the right moment. He jumps up and twirls in the air, striking with his sword. He lands and says it was a good moment. He turns around and sees that the boss wasn't hurt by his attack. The Snow Queen strikes with her sword, but Ran manages to fend off her attacks. He throws a punch but misses and asks if she was able to dodge. The Snow Queen rises into the air and releases a large amount of magical energy. Ran lands and says it's too bad. The boss's eyes are filled with a very strong energy. He says that he can't let her use her ability. This time he would definitely kill her. A lot of ice shards fly in his direction and he says that she must go to hell. Both of them struck out with their swords, which caused a strong explosion of magical energy. The Snow Queen saw and says that he finally succeeded. He slowly walks on the ground while shards of ice fly around him due to the boss body being destroyed. The system congratulates him on completing the beginner level task small test number 2, and he receives a reward for it. Ran asks what did he get this time. The system notifies that the task reward is water essence. Note it can be combined with a weapon. Water essence is a shard of ice that radiates cold. A merge is available for his weapon. Does he want to perform a merge? Ran says that of course he agrees. The system notifies that the merge was successful. His weapon has gained the unique ability of Ice Therapy of the first level. Ability Ice Therapy. Each attack of the user restores 0.1% of the health reserve. Health recovery can be reduced by negative effects. Rand asks, isn't just 0.1% meaningless? Well, it's better than nothing. Fortunately, this ability can be improved. He's been here long enough and it's time for him to get out of here. The system notifies that there is an exit from the dungeon and it must wait. After some time, he exits the dungeon through a large portal. The guy says that someone is coming out of the dungeon. The girl asks how it is possible that there is not a single scratch on it. Ran asks is there something wrong here? Could it be that they are members of the league? Why are they here and what happened? Had someone been hurt? The difficulty of this dungeon is extremely low. Then how could they get such injuries? He turns to the portal exit and looks. The guy runs out and loudly says that someone should help him. Ran looks at this and asks what's going on here. He approaches the injured girl and apologizes, asking if she can tell us what happened here. The girl asks if he hasn't heard about it yet. Something very strange has happened. Ran asks, is something very strange? The girl agrees with him and says that a few hours ago she and the team wanted to train their new abilities. They had recently learned it, but it was all very strange. As they were practicing, a cloud of black smoke suddenly appeared above the ground. They immediately suspected something was amiss and started to retreat, but everything happened too quickly and they didn't have time to leave. After the smoke cleared, the weak monsters became incredibly strong. They surpassed them by several times, so they could only run away. Due to her carelessness, she was wounded in the waist area. However, they were forcibly brought back from the dungeon due to exceeding the time limit. If it wasn't for that, she doesn't know what would have happened to them. Ran realizes that this was a couple of hours ago. Did this happen the moment he entered the dungeon? Is it possible that his presence affected other people who were in this dungeon at the same time? If this is the case, then he needs to pay more attention to it. Ran thanked her and says he understood everything. He thinks it looks like he can't go into the dungeons whenever he wants anymore. A group of people appear who say that they should disperse. Their guild has been sent out by the league to deal with the current situation. People say it's the Huangta Guild, the biggest guild in the city. This time there are a lot of them, even more than necessary. The guy tells the team of healers that they should come here because there are wounded people here. Another guy tells the task force that they need to be prepared. Because they are going to enter the dungeon, Ran looks at them and says that they have so many people that they don't seem to need his help. He needs to get out of here. The girl notices him and says that he is an old acquaintance of theirs. What was he doing here all by himself? He should let her examine him in case he got hurt. No one wanted him in their group, did they? It's so sad. Ran passes by and gets angry and asks how dare he ignore her. Was he already running off to his nanny? She apologizes and says that she forgot about the fact that she is already dead. Ran summons his sword and brings the blade to her throat with great speed. He says she has to take back her words or else she will die. The girl is very surprised by this and wonders what is going on. Isn't he a healer? Why is it so fast? Suddenly someone swings a sword between them and deflects the blade of the sword. Rain is surprised by this and looks at the person who did it. The man with the blindfold says that they should moderate their ardor because this is the territory of beginners and it is forbidden to kill players here. If he dared to attack her, then he wouldn't turn a blind eye. He sheaths his sword and says he can't imagine how much he'll regret it. Does he want to take a chance? Ran looks at him and thinks he knows him. He's one of the Wong2 guild leaders, the head of guild affairs, and has at least a diamond rank. It would be better if he didn't run into it. He leaves and says that's the way to go. He hopes they don't see each other again. The man says that he should wait because he hasn't finished speaking yet. Killing players is not allowed here, but it is allowed elsewhere. The girl says that he is right. It is allowed to kill players in the arena. She thinks that she was too relaxed during his attack. Surely some damned healer couldn't be on par with her. She asks what he will say about this if he has the courage. The man with the yellow hair asks she won't do that right. It doesn't make sense. Ran leaves, agrees to her suggestion, and says that they will meet in the arena.